Wargames are evolving, whether it's the crunch of tactical boots on the ground or the broad surgical sweep of an operational level sim, 2025 is already shaping up to be a brilliant year for strategy fans. We've got games that model logistics down to the convoys, others that throw you into asymmetrical conflicts with modern rules of engagement, and a few that are just plain experimental in all the right ways. Welcome back to LT Gaming, my name is Tom, and today Luke and I are diving into some of the most promising upcoming wargames on the horizon. A mix of ambitious indies, mechanically sharp simulations, and titles you may not have heard of yet. As always, if a game jumps out at you, let us know in the comments. We're always up for deep diving into what you guys are interested in. And if you like what we do here, grounded previews, thoughtful strategy coverage, and no hype trains, feel free to drop us a sub if you think we've earned it. Alright, let's get into this one. Starting off with something that stood out to us during Next Fest, not because it's flashy, but because it's different. Ground of Aces puts you in charge of a RAF airbase during the Second World War, not as a pilot, but as the person keeping the whole operation running behind the scenes. You're building the base tile by tile, hangars, radar towers, mess halls, even burial grounds, all while managing resources, crew morale, and the daily grind of life under the constant threat of air raids. It's not a combat sim in the traditional sense, you're not watching the dogfights, you send your crews out and wait, not knowing who's going to come back, and that alone gives the game a kind of weight. Visually, it's got this clear line comic book look, and it works surprisingly well. There's a quiet, methodical tone to it all, less boom boom, more keep calm and carry on. If this sort of slower, systems focused wartime sim appeals to you, there's a demo up on Steam right now, definitely one worth keeping on the radar.
Master of Command is a dynamic 18th century war sim where you build and lead a custom army from one of 5 major European powers through procedurally generated campaign maps. Using a new 3D engine recently introduced in their latest devlog, the game balances logistics, terrain, and commander tactics in intense real-time battles. You should watch for this one in 2025 because its shift to 3D visuals brings clarity and scale, letting you zoom in on regiments complete with unique flags and zoom out for strategic oversight. The latest devlogs highlight enhanced seasonal maps, dynamic formations, and historical tutorial battles, making it feel like a modern evolution of gunpowder-era wargaming. And of course, if you want a deeper dive into this, check the video I made recently. I do dive into a lot of the details around the game, and I'll be following up with a video soon, looking at some of the changes like the 3D implementation. It's just a great project I want to keep tabs on.
Now, if you're after something on the more explosive end of the wargame spectrum, Broken Arrow's well worth a look. It's a large-scale, real-time tactics game set in a modern military theatre that's all about combined arms at serious scale. You'll build your own custom battle group before each mission, from recon drones and airborne infantry to tanks, helicopters, naval units, and even jets. Everything is modular, right down to armour layouts and support systems, which gives a lovely crunchy edge beneath all the spectacle. Once you're in the field, it's quick and reactive, but not mindless. Positioning matters, line of sight matters, and there's a nice rhythm to managing battlefield momentum without getting too bogged down in the micro. There's going to be a full single player campaign too, set around a fictional Baltic conflict. Add in skirmish and multiplayer, and there's going to be a good deal of flexibility with how you can engage with this one. It's not a sim, and it's not just pure chaos either, it's sitting somewhere in that sweet spot between tactical depth and big cinematic wargame energy, and honestly, I think it's going to be a big hit this year.
Carthage, Bellum, Punicum plunges you into Hannibal's epic march during the Second Punic War, bringing real-time battlefield-level RTS to PC this year. You'll command Carthaginian armies through iconic clashes, using messenger-delivered orders, psychological warfare, fatigue, and morale to outmaneuver your foes. Keep an eye on this in 2025 because we don't get a lot of great wargames from this period and we definitely need more. The AI is set to overdrive with tactics from the era, and the detailed map design promises battlefield fidelity without excessive micromanagement. Developed and self-published by Mindbyte, it's a rare wargame focused exclusively on ancient operational warfare that blends realism with tactical flair. Perfect for history and strategy fans alike.
Shifting gears to the Pacific now, Task Force Admiral puts you in the Admiral's chair during 1942's epic carrier clashes. You're commanding US carrier task forces, planning strikes, escorts and navigation all in full 3D. You view the fleet from either first person on the flagship or classic God's Eye map. It's pausable real-time command, no autopilot, no abstraction, just you making the calls. The game is really nailing the feel of early Pacific warfare, juggling deck operations, anti-air defences, all with attention to historical detail. What strikes you on this one is the scale. Dozens of carriers, dozens of aircraft, surface escorts, flak. You sense the scope and tension without pretending to fly every plane. If you ever wondered what it's like to steer the fleet through uncertainty and fog of war, deciding who lives, who dies, and whether your fleets make it home, this game is going to be a slice of it.
Harpoon Classic 97 brings back the meticulous naval simulation that defined modern naval wargames. Command ships, submarines and aircraft across 4 major global theatres from the North Atlantic to the Mediterranean, in over 250 scenarios including 50 brand new missions. I can tell you right now, as a fan of Command Modern Operations, this is going to be right up my street. I can't wait to get hold of this one. It's funny how with wargames, some of the more simple looking titles are the ones you want the most. You should mark this one for 2025 if you're craving a true blue naval wargame that doesn't shy away from complexity. With a redesigned interface and quick start mode, it's more accessible than ever, perfect for both veteran admirals and newcomers wanting a taste of high stakes, tactical maritime warfare. Keep your eyes on the official launch to see if it delivers that classic feel on modern PCs.
Switching to something a bit more cerebral, Lines of Battle. This is a Napoleonic era wargame built around simultaneous turns, or what they call the WeGo system, where both sides plan at the same time and then you see your strategy unfold together. Battles can be 1v1 or 4v4 on historical maps or procedurally generated ones. You're going to have infantry, cavalry, artillery, about 15 different unit types currently, and it's you versus other players online or with friends in custom matches. What's appealing about this one is the planning layer, thinking in advance, anticipating how your flanks might get rolled, reading opponents in real time, and that moment the turn will play out, there'll be a satisfying tension where lines will either hold or suddenly bend and crack. It's got a clean pixel style that will keep the visual clutter low, letting the tactics shine, perfect for those who appreciate clarity in battlefield information.
Strategos is shaping up to be one of 2025's most ambitious real-time tactics wargames, firmly rooted in the world of classical antiquity. You're looking at battles featuring thousands of men from over 120 factions, Hellenistic Greeks, Sassanid cavalry, Roman legions, Carthaginians, all simulated on-screen using real-time formation tactics, morale systems, flanking maneuvers, and command delay mechanics. You should be excited because this is real tabletop simulation meets RTS scale and detail. The focus is on authentic battlefield flow. Messengers deliver your orders, units rally or rout under pressure, the AI actually adapts. Flanking, withdrawing, exploiting terrain, no dumb swarms here. Backed by micro-pros, Strategos is one to watch if you want immersive unit control and deep ancient warfare without touches of fantasy or oversimplification. I've made a couple of videos on this now if you want to check out the battles. It's a lot of fun, it's shaping up to be one of the best wargames of the year. Definitely check it out.
If you're enjoying the video so far, do consider giving it a like. It really helps us get these deeper strategy dives out to more people. And if this is your kind of content, grounded previews, thoughtful wargame coverage, and the odd indie surprise, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. We've also got channel memberships now for those who want to support what we do a bit more directly. Completely optional, but always appreciated. Let's shift into something a bit more visceral now, Modern Tank Warfare Spearhead 2. This is the follow-up to Micropro's 1998 Sim Classic, and it's aiming to bring back that gritty, boots in the hatch experience, but updated for the modern era. Now, Luke actually covered this in a full preview in the previous video on this channel, worth checking out if you want a deeper dive. But in short, this game is about commanding modern battle tanks with proper tactical weight. You don't just steer a box with a gun, you've got detailed interiors, ballistic modelling, turret controls, and a real sense of mechanical presence. No firm release date on this one yet, but the project is alive and looking sharp. If you've been waiting for a tank sim that actually feels like commanding a vehicle in the field, Spearhead 2 might just be what you're looking for.
Ahoy invites you into a richly detailed cooperative window in the 18th century Caribbean. You'll team up with fellow players and AI crew to sail period-authentic ships built off real blueprints, trade goods and engage in tactical naval combat, all wrapped up in a lush Unreal Engine 5 environment that even includes wind, crew behaviour and authentic maritime terminology. You should be excited about this in 2025 because it's just nailed its Kickstarter, hitting success in under 12 hours and unlocking stretch goals like guild systems, naval racing, and continued lore building. With cooperative ship roles, realistic ship models, and live combat built around a persistent multiplayer world, Ahoy could redefine immersive naval wargaming if it delivers on its promise. A truly exciting simulation/wargame for the future. The Last General is aiming big, really big. This is a modern RTS that lets you command massive real-time battles across procedurally generated maps of up to 400 kilometers squared. Instead of micromanaging every unit, you sketch out high-level strategies, direct convoys and airstrikes, and watch your plans unfold across a living, open battlefield. It really does sound cool. You should keep your eye on this in 2025 because it's bringing a fresh approach to scale and control. The mix of drawn commands, logistical depth, and strategic sandbox systems feels like it's trying to be the supreme commander of modern warfare, and with a solo dev at the helm and a growing buzz behind it, this might be the sleeper RTS wargame to watch. I've been chatting with the developer behind the scenes. He seems like a really cool guy, so I'm very excited for his project moving forward.
Let's wrap up with something a bit more strategic. Commander Europe at War. This is the upcoming remake of the 2007 hex-based classic. You'll lead either the Axis or the Allies across 6 World War II campaigns, managing air, land and naval forces on a 3D hex map. It's turn-based, pausable and blends depth with digestibility. Exactly what the oft-used phrase easy to learn, hard to master is made for. The core systems will include research, 5 tech branches, 50 inventions plus production, resources like oil, manpower and commander placement for battlefield bonuses. So there should be genuine weight behind each decision. Visually, it looks clean and functional, the 3D hexes pulling focus onto what's tactical, not just decorative. One thing we always respect here at LT Gaming is balance, so this won't be a grognard only monolith, and yet it should still have enough complexity to reward some serious thinking. Ideal for newcomers and long-time fans alike.